Vanessa hadn't told James that the doctor said she might not have long to live. The words, 6 months, maybe longer, haunted her every day, but she couldn't bring herself to share it with him. Not now. As her health slowly deteriorated, she quietly stole from her husband just to keep the family going. But when the truth comes out, will he even care? Or will her secrets tear their lives apart before she has the chance to make things right? One woman's quiet
I
fight
have to
will
hide
leave you
this.
questioning.
No one
How
can find
far
it.
would you go
It's
to
all I have
protect your
left.
family when the truth could destroy everything? Before we begin, quickly hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any of our intense stories. The apartment on 7th Street wasn't much. 2 bedrooms, peeling paint, a kitchen where the faucet dripped no matter how tight you turned it. But to James and Vanessa, it was the beginning. 5 years, James said one evening, his hand covering Vanessa's as they sat on their worn couch. Their children, Amara and Emeka, were finally asleep after an hour of bedtime stories. 5 years and we'll have our own house, I promise you. Vanessa smiled, but something flickered behind her eyes. She'd been to the doctor that afternoon. The word the oncologist used kept echoing. Terminal. 6 months, maybe 8. She'd asked him not to put it in writing yet, said she needed time to process. She couldn't tell James. Not now, not when he'd just gotten the job offer at Henderson and Associates. The kind of opportunity that came once in a lifetime. Senior accountant, 60,000 a year, benefits. I believe you, she whispered, squeezing his hand tighter than necessary. What she didn't say, I just hope I'm here to see it. Have you ever hidden something important from someone you love to protect them? Share your thoughts in the comments. 3 months passed. The money that was supposed to change everything never came. James's first paycheck arrived, then the second. Vanessa watched their joint account, waiting for the deposits he'd promised. They never appeared. James, the rent is due on Friday, she said over the phone, trying to keep her voice steady. The fatigue was getting worse. Some mornings, it took her 20 minutes just to get out of bed. I know, V. I'm handling it. But the account, I said I'm handling it. His voice had an edge she'd never heard before. Do you think this job is easy? Do you know what kind of pressure I'm under? There was silence on the other end of the line. I'm sorry, she finally said, though she wasn't sure what she was apologizing for. The kids just need to eat. Then make it work, Vanessa. That's what I'm doing. Make it work. The call ended. Vanessa stared at the phone in her hand, then at Amara and Amika playing with a puzzle on the floor, one she'd bought at a thrift store because they couldn't afford new toys anymore. She opened the refrigerator, half a carton of milk, 3 eggs, a package of hot dogs that was 2 days past the sell-by date. That night, after she thought James was asleep during his rare visit home, she carefully opened his wallet on the dresser. Her hand shook as she pulled out two $20 bills. This is for the kids, she told herself. Just this once. Just this once became twice, then 3 times. Then she stopped counting. Vanessa learned to move like a ghost through her own home. She'd wait until James was in the shower or sleeping, or distracted by his phone, which was always. $40 here, 60 there. Never enough to be immediately obvious, but enough to buy groceries, to keep the lights on, to get Emika's asthma inhaler refilled. The guilt sat in her chest like a stone. I'm a thief, she thought, standing in the cereal aisle at the grocery store, clutching the stolen money. I'm stealing from my own husband. But what choice did she have? Have you ever made a difficult choice to protect someone you love? even when it felt wrong. Like, subscribe and comment your story below. Sometimes love forces us to make hard decisions. One evening, James's mother called. Vanessa, honey, I hate to ask, but I need help with my medication. The insurance won't cover it this month, and it's $200. I'll talk to James, Vanessa promised. She did. That night, when he came home at 11 o'clock, still in his suit. Your mother needs help with her medication. James didn't look up from his phone. Tell her I can't. James, she needs it. She's your mother. I heard you, Vanessa. He set his phone down hard on the counter. What do you want from me? I'm already drowning. I have expenses you don't know about. Rent in the city is insane. I have to maintain a certain image at work. I can't show up looking like... He stopped himself, but the damage was done. Like what? Vanessa's voice was barely a whisper. Like someone who has a family? James rubbed his face. That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? He grabbed his phone and walked out of the kitchen without answering. Vanessa stood there for a long time, one hand pressed against the counter for support. The room had started spinning again. The dizzy spells were getting more frequent. She'd missed her last 2 doctor's appointments because she couldn't afford the copays. She went to his wallet that night and took everything in it. $340. She sent $200 to James's mother, used the rest for groceries and a small birthday present for Amara, who would turn 7 next week. Stealing became a habit for Vanessa. She would wait for the right time, take what she needed and move on. But her body was betraying her. She'd lost 15 pounds. Her skin had taken on a grayish tint. Some mornings she couldn't hide the pain anymore, and Amara would find her sitting on the bathroom floor, breathing through it. Mommy, are you sick? Just tired, baby. Mommy's just tired. One afternoon, while James was at work, Vanessa went to his car. She knew he kept an emergency envelope in the glove compartment. $500 he'd mentioned once, long ago. It was still there. She took $300, left the rest. That evening, she cooked James's favorite meal, pot roast with roasted vegetables the way his mother used to make it. She'd bought a small cake from the bakery. She'd even managed to find the energy to put on makeup, to hide the shadows under her eyes. What's all this? James asked when he walked in, suspicion in his voice rather than pleasure. I wanted to do something nice for us. He looked at the table, at her, at the effort she'd put in. For a moment, something softened in his expression. Then his phone rang. I have to take this, he said, walking into the bedroom. Vanessa sat at the table alone, listening to him laugh at something someone said on the phone. A sound she couldn't remember the last time she'd heard directed at her. Amara and Emeka ate the pot roast. James never came back out. She threw the cake away the next morning. James knew something was wrong with his money. He'd started keeping a mental tally, checking his wallet obsessively. So he bought a camera, a small one, easily hidden. He installed it on the bookshelf in the bedroom, angled towards the dresser where he kept his wallet. What's that? Vanessa asked when she noticed him adjusting something. Nothing, just organizing. She didn't push. She was too tired to push. 2 days later, James stood at work, watching the camera feed on his phone. He'd been checking it compulsively between meetings during lunch in the bathroom. And then he saw her, Vanessa, moving slowly into frame. She was wearing the blue robe he'd bought her for their anniversary 3 years ago. She looked so thin. When had she gotten so thin? She opened his wallet, counted the money, took half. James felt something hot and sharp rise in his chest. Vindication, maybe, or betrayal, or both. He left work early. I know what you've been doing, he said the moment he walked in. Vanessa was at the stove, stirring soup. She didn't turn around. What? Don't play dumb, Vanessa. I have proof. Now she turned. Her face was pale. James. How long? He pulled out his phone, showed her the footage. How long have you been stealing from me? The word stealing hung in the air like poison. I haven't, she started, but the lie died on her lips. I was trying to feed our children. By going behind my back? By lying to me? You weren't giving me any choice. The words burst out of her, louder than she'd intended. You stopped sending money. You stopped caring about what happens here. What was I supposed to do, James? Let our kids starve? Let your mother go without her medication? That doesn't give you the right. Right, Vanessa laughed, a hollow, broken sound. You want to talk about rights? You have the right to abandon your family? To pretend we don't exist? I never abandoned. You left, she screamed, and suddenly she was crying, her whole body shaking. You left us, James. You left. James stared at his wife, really looked at her for the first time in months. The weight loss, the pallor, the way she was gripping the counter like she might fall without it. Vanessa, are you okay? She wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. I'm fine. You're not fine. Look at you. When was the last time you ate a full meal? I eat. Vanessa. I'm dying, James. The words came out quiet, matter of fact, like she was commenting on the weather. James felt the air leave his lungs. What? I have cancer, stage 4. I found out the same week you got your job offer. She was still gripping the counter, but now it looked less like steadying herself and more like the only thing holding her up. I didn't tell you because I didn't want to ruin your opportunity. I didn't want to be the thing that held you back. Vanessa, the money I took wasn't for me. It was never for me. Her voice cracked. It was for Amara's school supplies, for Amika's inhaler, for your mother's medication, for food because we had nothing. I was trying, she choked on the words. I was trying to hold everything together while falling apart. James's vision blurred. How long? The doctor said 6 months. That was 4 months ago. Jesus Christ. He moved toward her, but she held up a hand. Don't. Vanessa, please. I needed you, James. The words were barely audible. I needed you to be here, to notice, to care. I needed my husband, and instead, you... She couldn't finish. I'm sorry. James was crying now too, openly, desperately. God, Vanessa, I'm so sorry. I was so focused on proving myself at work, on making partner, I thought I was building a future for us, but I was just running away. I was running away from feeling like a failure, and I made you pay for it. I know. Let me fix this, please. We'll get you treatment. We'll sell everything if we have to. I'll quit my job. Whatever you need, it's too late for that. If you ever realized too late the impact of your actions on the people you love, quickly, like, subscribe, and turn the notification bell. Sometimes it's not until the truth is revealed that we see the damage we've done. Hearing her say, it's too late for that, shattered something in him. James fell to his knees in the middle of their kitchen. This man who wore 3-piece suits and negotiated $1 million accounts, reduced to this. Please, he begged. Please, Vanessa, I can't lose you. I'll do better. I'll be better. Vanessa slowly lowered herself to sit on the floor beside him. She was so tired, so impossibly tired. I loved you, she said softly. I loved you enough to steal for you, to lie for you, to die quietly so you could chase your dreams. But love isn't enough when the person you love can't see you anymore. I see you now. Now doesn't matter. She looked at him, really looked at him, memorizing his face. I need to spend what time I have left with people who were here. Amara and Emeka need me. Your mother needs me. And I need peace, James. I need to not feel like I'm drowning while you watch from the shore. What are you saying? I'm saying I can't do this anymore. This marriage, this pretending, this hoping you'll come back to us. She took off her wedding ring. It slid off easily now. Her fingers had gotten so thin and placed it in his palm. I'm
I have to
saying
go.
goodbye.
Goodbye.
No? He grabbed her hand.
No.
Vanessa, no.
You can't
leave.
We're
We're married. We have children.
No,
We had a life, she corrected gently. Past tense, and I don't have time to resurrect something that's already dead. She stood up slowly, using the counter for support. James remained on the floor, holding her ring like it might disappear. I'll be staying with your mother, Vanessa said. She's offered to help with the kids. You can see them whenever you want, but I need you to start sending child support. Real support, consistent support. They're your children, James. They deserve better than what you've given them. Vanessa, I'm tired, she said simply. I'm so tired of fighting. With the cancer, with the bills, with you. I just want to rest. It took 3 days for Vanessa to pack up the life she'd built. James tried everything. He came home early every day. He cooked meals she couldn't eat. He begged, apologized, made promises they both knew he couldn't keep. I'll prove it to you, he said on the last night, watching her fold clothes into suitcases. I'll prove I can change. I don't want proof, she said quietly. I wanted a partner. I wanted the man I married, but he's gone and I've accepted that. You should too. I'm right here. She looked at him with such sadness it nearly broke him all over again. No, James, you haven't been here in a very long time. Amara and Emeka didn't understand why they were leaving. Amara cried, clinging to her father. Emeka, too young to fully grasp what was happening, just asked if Daddy was coming too. Not this time, buddy, James said, his voice cracking. But I'll visit. I promise I'll visit. Vanessa loaded the last box into the car. James's mother waited in the passenger seat, her face a mask of disappointment in her son. Take care of yourself, Vanessa said to James. It wasn't cold, it wasn't warm, it was just final. I love you, he said desperately. I know I didn't show it, but I do. I love you, Vanessa. She smiled, sad and knowing. I know you do, it just wasn't enough. She got in the car. The engine started. James stood in the driveway of their apartment building, watching the taillights disappear around the corner. The ring was still in his pocket. He pulled it out, looked at it under the streetlight. It felt like holding evidence of his own failure. 6 weeks later, James got the call. Vanessa was in hospice. She was asking for him. He drove 2 hours through rain, his hands shaking on the steering wheel. The hospice room was small, painted a soft yellow that was probably meant to be cheerful. Vanessa looked impossibly small in the bed. Amara and Emeka were asleep in chairs beside her. James's mother sat in the corner, her expression unreadable. James, Vanessa said. Her voice was barely there. I'm here. He took her hand. It was so light, so fragile. I'm here, V. I need you to promise me something. Anything. Be there for them. She glanced at their sleeping children. Be the father they deserve. Be the man I married. I will. I promise. I swear. And forgive yourself. She squeezed his hand with what little strength she had left. I did. A long time ago. You were hurting too, in your own way. I see that now. Vanessa. It's okay, she whispered. It's okay to let go. She closed her eyes. James sat there holding her hand until dawn, until the nurses came, until his mother gently pulled him away. He'd spent months running from his failures, his fears, his responsibilities. In the end, all he had left was the weight of everything he'd lost. 6 months later, James sat on the floor of his apartment. A different one now, smaller, closer to his mother's house. Amara and Emeka were doing homework at the kitchen table. He'd quit Henderson and Associates, took a job with half the salary but regular hours. He picked the kids up from school every day. He cooked dinner every night. He read bedtime stories. On his dresser sat Vanessa's wedding ring, along with a photo from their wedding day. They both looked so young, so hopeful. Dad, Amara appeared in the doorway. Can you help me with my math? Of course, sweetheart. He got up, ruffled her hair, and they worked on fractions together until Emeka demanded his turn. It wasn't the life he'd planned. The house on the hill, the success, the image he'd tried so hard to build, none of it mattered now. What mattered was this: the homework help, the bedtime stories, the small moments that made a life, the moments Vanessa had been fighting for all along. Sometimes love isn't enough when the truth is too heavy to bear. But sometimes it's the weight of loss that teaches us how to carry love properly. This story touches on the silent struggles many people face: illness, financial stress, communication breakdown, and the slow erosion of relationships under pressure. If Vanessa's story resonated with you, think about the people in your own life who might be carrying invisible burdens. Sometimes being present is the most powerful thing we can offer.